Hey, third graders, Mr. Carey here. Just wanted to talk a little quick multiplication with you today. Multiplication is when you're counting by groups of. So say 5 times 2, that means 5 groups with 2 in each group, or 5 groups of 2. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Division was when you're splitting things up. So say you would know the total, you'd have 10, and you're splitting it into 2 groups, and there'd be 5 in each group. So last week, our big focus was 2s and 5s. 2s, we go up to 24. 5s, we go up to 60. Let's do a quick review and count with me. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. That's times 11 times 12. You go to the next hand, 10, 2. Okay, and then 5s will go, our big number will be 60. Here we go. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. And say that'd be 11 and 12, okay? So then we also talked a little bit about some properties last week, and we're going to be talking about some more properties this week, okay? So our first property we're gonna learn about today is our zero property. We talked about this yesterday. A zero property is basically anything, any number times 0, your answer is going to be 0, no matter what. But anything times 0 is 0, which is different than adding, because if you were adding and you had to do 3 plus 0, your answer would still be 3. When it's times, it's because you have that number 0 times, or you have 0 this many times. So it's always just going to be 0. So check this out. 7 times 0, answer 0, right? Always going to be 0. 6 times 0, 0. 14 times 0, 0. 8 times 0, you guessed it, 0. 0 times 10, 0. 0 times 100, 0. Anything times 0 is always going to be 0, every single time, all right? The next one is called the identity property. And basically what the identity property means is it's anything times 1. So it's, sometimes people call it the ones property, sometimes people call it the identity property. It's really your choice. It's the same thing. So what the rule is anything times 1, or any number times 1 is itself. That's why it's called the identity property. So if I was doing like 5 times 1, it's 5. Or 1 times 6, it's 6. Because that means like 6, one time, one group of 6, or 6 groups of 1. Either way, it's going to be just the other number. So anytime it's times 1, the answer is just the other number. So 7 times 1, the other number, 7. 1 times 6, 6. 5 times 1, 5. 1 times 15, 15. 1 times 100, 100. 17 times 1, 17. So any number times 1, the answer is the other number. Easy enough. Then we talked a little bit about the commutative property. I believe we just mentioned it. So let's talk about the commutative property. The commutative property means the order doesn't matter. So for example, if you have a 2 by 3, 3, 6, or I turn it around and I have a 3 by 2, 2, 4, 6, the order doesn't matter. So basically what that means, the commutative property means, is I can count 3's 2 times, 3, 6, or I can count by 2's 3 times, 2, 4, 6. So my answer will be the same. Now, it is different things because 2 groups of 3 is different than 3 groups of 2, but the answer will be the same. It's still the same total amount. So what that allows you to do is, say you're doing something like 5 times 7, you have the choice, like, well, I don't really know my 7s yet, so I'll count by 5s 7 times. But if you knew both of your 5s and your 7s, you could say, well, I'd rather go by 7s 5 times, or I'd rather go by 5s 7 times, and you could switch it around. So, but for now, you just have to understand you could just flip the numbers around. Sometimes they're called turnaround facts. In third grade, we call it commutative property. So watch. 3 times 2, just flip them around. 2 times 3. 4 times 6, 6 times 4. 7 times 3, 3 times 7. You see, that's why they call it the turnaround facts, because they're just turned around. 10 times 8, 8 times 10. Piece of cake. Big thing today, anything times 0, 0. Anything times 1 is itself. Have fun mathing today, guys.